Get started here. I am Mark with Resist Marxism. This press conference is for the Rally for the Republic. The Rally for the Republic is a patriotic-themed rally. It is being sponsored by Resist Marxism, Boston Free Speech, and several other patriotic organizations from across New England and the entire nation. The rally will take place on Saturday, November 18th at noon on the Boston Common in the vicinity of the Parkman Bandstand. Its purpose is to advocate for free speech, support the Constitution, honor the veterans who have sacrificed for our freedom, and to celebrate our love for America. Many veterans, including some of the organizers, will be in attendance. We simply desire to exercise our First Amendment rights. Irrespective of race or party, we believe that we can unite around these ideals because we are all Americans. On September 18th, we applied for a permit for the Parkman Bandstand with the Department of Parks and Recreation. Our original intent was to hold a rally on Veterans Day, but the website automatically rejected the application because the venue was already marked as being reserved for that date and time. The date of November 18th was chosen because it was one of the few Saturdays in the fall which was not already booked. Per the department's website, they have 10 business days to approve or deny a permit application. They did not send a letter denying the permit until October 26, 38 days later. If the department believed that the road race and the rally could not be held on the same day, then they should have designated nearby venues as being unavailable in their system. At the very least, they should have responded to us in a timely manner and immediately rejected the application. Instead, they chose to drag out the process. We know from prior experience that Parks and Recreation has a capability to handle permit applications quickly and efficiently and within their own policy of 10 business days. In fact, other groups have recently had their permit applications approved in only a few days. Therefore, we find their excuses to be less than satisfactory. Their actions give the appearance that there are other reasons for the permit denial rather than just bureaucratic inefficiency. The city administration is using the Camp Harborview 5K as an excuse for denying our permit. It is unfortunate that the city has decided to drag Camp Harborview into this affair since they are an innocent party. We called Citython after the department first brought up the road race to our attention. A representative told us that the race would be over around 10 a.m., would not be based near the bandstand, it would run in the direction opposite of our location, and would be followed by a brunch that would end before noon. We told the department that we'd move the start time of our rally to just before that, so our events would in no way conflict. As we continued to work with the department, they led us to believe that they were considering approving our permit for November 18th. Our representatives met with them in person on multiple occasions. We even had a meeting that included the Boston Police Department and Commissioner Evans. During this time, we continued to make plans as speakers and other participants made travel arrangements. Unfortunately, the city stalled the permit process too long, and now it is simply too late to change the date of the rally. Our event is scheduled to start after the Citython event, and we, of course, will not interfere with their plans. All we can do is ask that fight supremacy, refuse fascism, and various Antifa groups who are mobilizing against free speech do not do the same. We all know that any public safety concerns are due to their actions and not ours. The first free speech rally occurred in May without major controversy. It was the irresponsible statements of Mayor Marty Walsh, a few unscrupulous reporters, and the other public officials that fed the chaos and violence in August. The mayor slandered the organizers from the Boston Free Speech Group before the rally. Without any evidence, he claimed they had an association with neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other unsavory groups. The Boston Free Speech Group thoroughly debunked any alleged connections to white supremacists from Charlottesville, which the mayor even acknowledged in an August 15th interview on MSNBC. Nevertheless, he continued to advance a false narrative that his efforts to contain the second Boston Free Speech rally were somehow about stopping hate. Whether out of willful ignorance or to simply further his own political ambitions, the mayor's lives has caused harm to innocent Americans in both their personal and professional lives. The police prevented the public and some of the speakers from getting into the August rally. This resulted in several patriotic Americans being assaulted by the mob, and there is no shortage of video evidence to prove it. Even a member of the counter-protest was punched by a fellow counter-protesters who mistook him for a neo-Nazi simply because of his shaved head. The police also enforced conditions on those attending the rally. They were told that they could not have signs and flagpoles. They were stripped of protective gear even as death threats were being made against them. They were told they could not set up amplified sound and could not interact with the crowd. The media was prevented from getting near the bandstand even though the organizers wanted them there. No such conditions were enforced upon the counter-protesters who could set up their own amplified sound and even erect structures. We do not fault the police officers as they were only doing as instructed by the administration. In fact, we are staunch supporters of Boston Finest, and some of them have even privately acknowledged our support. The same cannot be said for the groups that oppose us. In August, more than 30 individuals were arrested for attacking police officers and damaging city property. Yet Mayor Marty Walsh is happy to march in lockstep with the same people who throw bottles of urine at our officers. We can only imagine how frustrated Boston police officers must be at the mayor. We find his actions not only distasteful, but cowardly as well. And now I'm going to have one of our other members continue reading.
Hello, I'm John Medler with Resist Marxism and Boston Free Speech. Mayor Walsh now claims he is concerned about how the City-Thon road race will be affected, yet he doesn't even have the integrity to admit that all of the threat is posed by the agitators attempting to shut our rally down. If the mayor is truly concerned, then we suggest he correct his slanderous statements from August. Otherwise, the city residents will have the same false impressions about our group as they had for Boston Free Speech. For instance, he could state that he was mistaken when he equated the free speech rally with hate groups. He could correct his preposterous claim that Nazis were stopped from coming to Boston. A public statement by the mayor telling the truth would calm the tensions surrounding the upcoming rally. If the mayor has the courage to admit the truth, then we will graciously accept his apology. We invite the mayor and all city councilors to attend our rally and celebrate America with us. Those accusing us of spreading hate do so because they want us to hate each other. They accuse us of spreading fear because they want us to be afraid of each other. No one of sound mind and judgment can possibly listen to what we have consistently said and conclude that we are Nazis. The accusation that we give a platform to hate is equally baseless, as none of the speakers invited can honestly be described as Nazis or white supremacists. As outrageous as their response to our message has been, free speech and patriotism are too important to ever consider backing down. The violent mobs enabled by the mayor are trying to stop us from simply gathering under the stars and stripes in public. They will not intimidate us, and they will not prevent us from spreading our message and having us being heard. We reject communism, we reject fascism, we reject racism, we reject tyranny. We embrace liberty, the free exchange of ideas, patriotism, and love of America. We are not coming to engage in violence towards those whom we disagree. We are not coming to attack the police that protect all of us. We are not coming to shut down the free speech of others. Those are the tactics of groups that oppose our message, such as Antifa. America will see once again that all of the hatred and violence is coming from the other side. We are asking the City of Boston to enforce Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 268, Section 34. This law makes it a crime to disguise oneself with the intent to intimidate or obstruct others exercising their rights under the Constitution. Given recent events, it is foreseeable that Antifa will disguise themselves. They will attempt to intimidate and obstruct us as we exercise our First Amendment rights. This situation should be intolerable to all Americans. Mayor Walsh has recently told the media that we will be prevented from using sound amplification devices. Bostonians know well that there are demonstrations and other activities on the Common every weekend where such equipment is used without a permit. As already noted, in August, the counter-protesters had no permit but could set up their own sound amplification and even erect a stage. On November 4th, Refuse Fascism, a communist group, used sound amplification devices at the rally for their November 4th event on the Parkman Bandstand. The press reported that they had a permit, but a few days before the event the group was advertising was saying that it would take place at Shoppers Plaza. We could have had our rally on November the 4th, but we were told early on by the Department of Parks and Recreation that the bandstand was unavailable for that day. When it comes to free speech, the administration makes decisions based upon the viewpoints of the speakers or what others falsely allege about them. Some members of the press have and will accuse us of playing the victim in this scenario. To the contrary, we refuse to be victims. We will not accept discrimination against our group simply because the mayor and counter-protesters may disagree with our message. We will not continue to crawl to the mayor and ask, "If it pleases the crown, might we please request a charter to set foot on public land and proclaim our love for the realm?" Those who are organizing against our rally will also be on the Boston Common on November 18th. As advocates of free speech, this in and of itself is not a problem for us. We are advising the mayor that he must ensure that the same laws and regulations are applied to both sides equally. This event will be well documented, and if we are not treated equally, there will be ample evidence to prove it. We expect the city to enforce all laws and regulations within their normal practices. Others have already filed lawsuits against the city for the administration's actions in August. Mayor Walsh may decide to single out our group on November 18th. We will comply with all directives from the police because we are law-abiding citizens. However, if patriotic groups such as ours continue to be discriminated against by the city, we are prepared to take legal action. The mayor can explain to his constituents why taxpayer money is being spent to defend lawsuits and to fund the suppression of free speech activities across the nation when we are awarded damages. Instead of fighting against the First Amendment, the city would be better served using that money for badly needed improvements such as schools, roads, and housing development. If the costs to police such events and guard public safety would likewise be a fraction of what it was in August, if only the mayor had chosen to help ease public tensions rather than inflame them. Mark?
So, we encourage all patriotic Americans to come to the Rally for the Republic on November 18th at noon near the Parkman Bandstand. See our website, resistmarxism.org, for more information. Bring your American flags, your love for the country, and your knowledge of patriotic songs. Together we will stand for freedom of speech, support the Constitution, honor the veterans who have sacrificed for our freedom, and celebrate our love for America. Thank you.